We're almost there. It's almost Christmas. And yet, in the life of the church, we have this season called Advent, this time of preparation. And so this Sunday, it is the church pulling back the reins on all that comes with the Christmas excitement. Now, it ends up being this in-between time because we know the joy that the Christmas season brings. We know the gift of God Emmanuel, the dwelling of Jesus in our midst, and how that changes the entire world, that changes the entire history, and it changes our relationship to the divine. And so we know the full joy of this season, even beyond the decorations, even beyond the doorbuster deals, even beyond the stocking stuffers, that it is truly the good news of Jesus born among us. And so in Advent, it's a time of preparing for that, of hearing the fullness of God's message of life and liberation. And so, as we've done all month long, we'll hear again from the prophet Isaiah on this Sunday, this time from the 61st chapter. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for God has anointed me. God has sent me to bring good news to those who are poor, to heal broken hearts, to proclaim release to those held captive and liberation to those in prison, to announce a year of favor from God and the day of God's vindication, to comfort all who mourn, to provide for those who grieve in Zion, to give them a wreath of flowers instead of ashes, the oil of gladness instead of tears, a cloak of praise instead of despair. They will be known as trees of integrity, planted by God to display God's glory. They will restore ancient ruins and rebuild sites long devastated. They will repair the ruined cities neglected for generations. Strangers will tend your flocks. Foreigners will till your fields and dress your vineyards. But you will be called priests of God and ministers of our God. You will enjoy the richness of nations and inherit their wealth. See, we can only know the fullness of the joy of Christmas when we know what God's intention for the whole world, what God's kingdom come looks like. And the prophet is painting that picture of comfort for those who mourn, of freedom for those who are held captive, of release from economic struggles in the year of Jubilee. The goodness of God is so much greater than what we can even imagine. And so as we prepare our hearts to welcome the birth of Jesus, we dwell in the Word and look for God to come. This is what allows us to then gather on Christmas Eve and hear the story that angels heralded, that shepherds bore witness to, the good news of Christmas. So join us this Sunday for worship at 10:15, and then on Christmas Eve, our family service is at 10:15, and our candlelight service is at 7. Have a very Merry